So with the number of COVID-19 cases starting to rise again, more people are asking their doctors whether the time is right to get that second booster shot. Here to share his advice, Dr. Todd Ellerin, Chief of Infectious Diseases at South Shore Health. Doctor, good to see you.
All right, Dr. T, it's great to see you. Right off the bat, is it the right time? Yes or no?
Eddie, I think it's the right time, especially for those higher risk groups, those over 50 with chronic medical conditions, those over 60 or 65 period, and of course, those immunocompromised patients.
So that still leaves a large group of people, doctor, who are eligible for that second booster, but nobody's received clear guidance from the CDC. So what do you want them to know?
Well, the good news, Maria, is that even the first booster is really doing a great job at protecting against severe infection. Our vaccines are not doing as great of a job right now against preventing infection and transmission. So I think the key thing to remember is that the most important thing is get vaccinated if you're unvaccinated, especially if you've never been infected. If you've been infected before and haven't been vaccinated, please go get at least one booster, if you will. And again, if you're at high risk or immunocompromised, those are really the key groups that you want to make sure you're not only singly boosted, but double boosted.
Dr. T, let me just remind our viewers, if you have been with us all along, Dr. T doesn't mind that we share certain personal information about him with you. So Dr. T, you're over 50, which makes you eligible for a second booster. Is there a downside to getting it right now?
I think there's little downside, Ed, as far as safety is concerned. But I think one thing that we're all trying to figure out is the timing. In other words, if we knew how big of a surge we would get with the BA2 subvariant, then we'd have a better sense of timing. So, I think the answer is there's little downside, especially if you are high risk. You definitely want to run out there. Now, if you're a healthy 50-year-old person, do you need to run out and get your second booster or fourth dose? And the answer is no. But at the same point, I don't think there's a downside to it.
Got it.
Doctor, you're watching cases rise just like everyone else. Not that we want to see that happen. We don't. But in your opinion, is there anything more that federal or state officials should be doing right now to try to stay ahead of this virus?
It's such a great question, Marie, and I like to ask that question, especially when we're not in the middle of a crisis. Okay, and the answer is right now we want to make sure we have the testing. So when we have the next surge, we're not going to run into some of the same issues we had before. I wish that if I had a wish list, I'd wish that the rapid testing could somehow get to our authorities, whether it's the state health departments, so we weren't underestimating the number of tests and or positive cases. And the last thing is the antivirals. These work really well to protect high-risk people against hospitalizations and deaths. We want to make sure that we don't have a supply issue with this. So if we can work with the companies that are producing this and get other companies in the mix to produce other antivirals, so we have sort of a cocktail there.
So what Philadelphia is doing, reinstating their mask mandate, are they being proactive to stay ahead of the virus? Which, in your opinion, is it a good move? Is it a bad move? What do you think?
Ed, that's a great question. And you've heard me say this from the beginning. I think that it's always better to be on the aggressive side of things than to underestimate this, very tricky and unpredictable virus. So I'm not going to say they're doing too much right now. Do I think we need a federal mandate that everyone has to wear masks indoors? No, but this is what I'm going to say. Know what's happening locally around you and respond to it, and don't wait too long.
Got it.
Dr. Todd Ellerin. Thank you, doctor. Be well.